Do not attempt to adjust your set. This is a Streaming Freedom video bulletin. Hello friends, and welcome back to the channel. For today's Skyrim video, which is a mod showcase on the PlayStation 4, I have what I consider to be one of the most important mods that you can download on console if your followers are very important to you. As most of you know, followers, when they are dismissed, are supposed to return to their point of origin. If they have a home, that is where they are supposed to go, and in most cases this has always been what has happened. However, those that have been watching my videos since these recent patches will know that because of patch 121, that my Lydia is broken. Her AI does not function correctly. I do not know if it's the case with yours or your other followers that you have, but there are times that she will function perfectly fine and other times that she refuses to function at all, like today where she began to refuse to follow me, would not teleport with me when I went anywhere, and I couldn't get her to function correctly. So I eventually took her home to Proudspire Manor. I teleported her there with a spell that I have from the multiple follower system, and while having her inside the house, dismissed her. And she was fine. I left the house and I brought Serana to me and adventured with her for a while. Once Serana and I were done adventuring, I returned to the house to get Lydia back and see if that had fixed the issue. Only she wasn't there. She also was not anywhere in Solitude. She was nowhere to be found. I advanced time to a point that she should be in bed asleep, and she still wasn't there. I could not find her. That is what this mod today is all about. This mod is called Tracking and Summoning, and it is by Cyan49, and I want to give a very big thank you to Cyan49 for creating something like this on console. As you know, PC users are able to teleport characters to them or teleport themselves to a character. However, we cannot do that on the PlayStation because we cannot use console commands. This, however, will allow me to track and summon characters like Lydia once I cast a spell on them. Now, as you can see, this mod is already active and favorited, and that is because I've been using it for a little while. I was testing it with the 120 patch, and in my game, it worked perfectly fine with the 120 patch, and it's working perfectly fine with the 121 patch. So what I'm going to do, because Lydia is, I can't find her anywhere, I am actually going to revert my save because I would rather lose progress than lose her. And so every now and then I will create a manual safe save from a point in the game when everything was fine, and luckily I had just done that recently, so I didn't lose a lot of progress, but I actually didn't care how much I would have lost. I'd have still done the same thing. When I was testing this mod, I stupidly did not think to actually put the tracker on Lydia. Error-wise, I wouldn't have to be reverting my save. But I am reverting it to put a tracker on her that I'm going to keep on her permanently, so if she ever does this again, I can find her. Now, for those of you that are just now going to download this mod, the first step that you see me do, you will not be doing. That is because I currently have characters in the tracker, and I'm going to remove a few of them so that I can put Lydia in the slot that I want to have her in to keep track of her. And for those that think perhaps she wandered away and died, no, because I have an essential patch that keeps all of the potential followers, which would include her when she's not a follower, safe. But in any case, I checked everywhere. I even checked the halls of the dead, and she was not there. I also checked the various homes that she could have been and Dragon's Reach. Everywhere I went, she was simply gone. My guess is that she somehow wandered off somewhere and her AI then again malfunctioned, and that could have been any number of places. She was lost. Luckily, as you can see, here she is, perfectly safe and sound, and I'm very happy to see her. So this mod adds these items directly into your inventory, these spells. You need to go to Conjuration, and here you will see the different options. I'm selecting the clear target option because again I have already tested this mod and I want to clear some targets out of here like Rasad because I want to have her in slot 1. I'm also going to clear out another character that I was tracking, which is not the actual Verona Nellis but a clone that I had spawned trying to fix a broken quest that ultimately did not work. Now okay. So for those of you using this mod for the first time, go to Magic, go to Conjuration, go to Set Tracking Target. Now get to the target that you want to track and cast a spell on them. Now select the slot that you want to have them. I'm going to put Lydia in slot 1. In the upper left you can see it says Tracked Lydia. So what exactly does that mean? If you bring up your journal pause menu, you will see this tracked target list, and here a list of all the possible targets. Where no target is set, of course, there is no character. Right now I currently have Lydia and Serana in there. So you want to click this box here, and now as you can see, there is an objective marker over Lydia's head, as well as on my compass, allowing me to see exactly where she is. Not only that, but off in the distance we can see that Serana is over that way. If you bring up the map, you can actually see them by their name, where they are at any given time on the map. Lydia is here next to me, and Serana is currently over here with the Dawn Guard. So now I'm going to recreate the circumstances in which she became lost to me. I am going to take and dismiss her as a follower and let her go home, or at least what she is supposed to be doing. Now, other times that I have done this, it has always worked. If her AI malfunctions to the point that she will no longer follow me like she is supposed to, sending her home and giving it a little while and then pulling her back has worked. However, this time it is what ended up causing her to become completely lost to me. I'm going to go ahead and speed time forward so that she makes it back home. Now, because I have the tracker on her, I will be able to see where she's actually going, if she goes home or if she goes somewhere else. I have no doubt she was somewhere in the world in my other playthrough. However, because I had no way to keep track of her, it could have been that I would have never found her again, especially if her AI was broken and she was simply standing somewhere. Now, as you can see, she's nowhere around, but I can bring up the map and I can go and look and see if she's in Solitude. And oddly enough, she isn't. She's over closer to a modded player home that I have. She should be in Solitude, but she's over here. So she's still malfunctioning. This is the modded player home that I have, and I actually even checked here just on the off chance, and she wasn't there originally. I have no clue where she went. However, I don't have to. I can either go to her location, or what I'm going to do is what people on PC take for granted using console commands. I am now going to switch this to Summon Tracked Target, and you can cast a spell without them being near you. Now you will see a list of the characters. Select the character that you want, and she appears in front of you. As you can see, she's now in her civilian clothing because she was dismissed and is taking on the part of Aragon's wife that was in the household with that dialogue. I will now reassign her as my follower. Because I did that, I was able to bring her right back to me. I'm also going to have her re-equip her armor because for whatever reason she unequips it and then doesn't re-equip it when she's a follower. But if I take her seducer armor here, you'll see that the gauntlets and, well, the boots, which you can't see, spawn back on, and then I can give it back to her to where she is once again has her armor as she's supposed to. So with that, I was able to actually pull her to me from wherever the hell she was at again and find her easily, unlike before. Let's see if I can find an additional character and we'll do some more tests. And of course, in the airtime, those Khajiit would be over there. Instead, what I'm going to end up doing is teleporting us to Riverwood. Now, I'm going to leave that tracker on her permanently through the rest of the playthrough, and any subsequent playthrough that I ever do, any character that is extremely important to me, I am going to do that. Because again, with PC, they can type in console commands to pull the character to them or go to the character, but we can't do that on console. But now, thanks to Cyan49, we can teleport the character to us. One thing I do want to say there is, though, if it's a character that's doing a quest, if it's a quest-like character and you pull them to you, like somebody from Soulsign, for example, and you pull them into Skyrim, you could break the quest, so you do need to be careful of that, but it should be safe to use on your followers. We're going to use Embry here as another test subject. I am going to go ahead and set him as a tracked target. And again, this is the only time you got to be close to them is when you're actually setting them as a tracked target. Let's also target Dorothy here. Okay, so now I have her also set as a target. Now each character, as you can see, will have that little mark above their head, the quest mark. Now the thing is, you could say, well, that's going to get quite confusing, and yes, because as you can see, I have a bunch of quest marks. It's kind of hard to see with the Riverwood symbol there, but a bunch right there together, as well as Serana still over here at the Dawn Guard. So how I can take care of that without clearing the target is I can go back into Magic, go back to Conjuration, and I can set this toggle tracked marker. This will let me turn a marker on and off on the target, but the target is still able to be tracked. So let's shut it off on Embry here. And now it says it's been disabled, and as you can see, he no longer has a marker over his head, but we can see Dorothy going off to the left, and Lydia still has one on the right. If I bring up the map, it is hard to see, unfortunately, because of the area, but his marker is gone while the other two's markers remain. However, as you can see, if I bring up the quest area, again, Embry is still here. He is still able to be tracked. It's simply that the quest marker is not over his head at this time. That way it doesn't clutter it up. I can now turn it back on, and as you see, it reappears on him. This way, if you only want to have a certain character tracked, you can turn the other markers off, and again, you do not need to be near... Always somebody interrupting me when I'm trying to do a video. Anyways, you do not have to be near the character in order to turn this on or off, which is great. You only have to be near them initially to put the tracker on them. It's the same with clearing the tracker off, but this way, if you had one important character you wanted to keep track of without being confused, or when you're running a bunch of different quests. That's what I really like about this mod. Cyan really thought this out when he made it, and again, Cyan49, thank you so very much. Now I'm going to set this to clear the tracked targets and clear Embry and Dorothy off of here. So simply by reselecting the character on that particular slot, it now shows cleared Embry in the upper left, and we'll do it again for Dorothy. Now with those two cleared, if I go back into the map, you will see that once again the only characters I have is Lydia. Kind of hard to see her because of the Riverwood icon, but Lydia is here being tracked, as well as again Serana, who is still over here at the Dawn Guard. So you don't want to have these markers on your screen all the time, especially when doing quests. That's very easy. Just untick it, and there you go. Now they're gone, and you can check it at any point you want to see. It's no longer on the map in any area, and it's also not on your compass. You can simply click it on and off whenever you need it for a character. So this is a very important mod, I think, for us on console. I've seen other reports when I couldn't find her. I actually went looking, and apparently Lydia does that quite often. So this is a very important mod, I think, to have if you're a console user. It's as close as you're really going to be able to get the console command so that you can keep track of where they are as well as pull them to you. Because otherwise, if they get lost somewhere, you might not find them in that playthrough again. So again, as I have been saying in these mod showcases as of late, though, please be careful when downloading any mods. This is perfectly safe for my game, and it should be for yours, but with everybody being different right now because of the patches, you do need to be careful when you are downloading any new mods and changing things in your loader. With that being said, I am going to leave a link to Cyan49's YouTube channel in the description box down below. And again, I just want to thank Cyan49 so much for creating a mod like this, because this is going to be very helpful not only to myself but to other people who don't want to lose their followers. Thank you for watching the video, everybody. Take care.